Hi, hi again, it's Kristen from KML Creatives, and this is part two. I just went over what the actions do and how they work and how they play together, so now I'm going to go through and do a full edit for you so you can see with your own eyes what they do. Starting with this image of my daughter. As you can see, it's pretty cool, so we need to warm this up. I'm going to start with Quick Clean. I'm going to run it. Quick Clean has a levels adjustment layer for you to adjust to where you want it. I am not going to adjust this. I'm just going to click OK and run through it. As you can see, this is before, after. It adds a little more warmth, a little lighter, a little more color saturation. I am actually going to click on the soft light matte, which actually lightens the image, as you can see, and turn it down just a touch. Probably down to about 25%. I'm going to click on the color pop layer and turn that up and add some warmth. I'm going to turn up as well. Before, after, and then I'm going to flatten. Now you do need to flatten after each action is run because these actions start off as with a copy of your background layer, and then all layers after that are in a clipping mask clipped to that background layer copy. The background layer copy also has a mask in it so that you can mask off everything or turn the opacity of the whole action down or up. So we started with Quick Clean, and now I'm going to go to Autumn Kiss. You can see that it adds a lot of red, kind of enhances the goldens. It's a real pretty action. You can turn up the red more. As you can see, this is where your masking layers come into play, or turn up the yellows, and that will enhance the goldens. I'm actually going to start here and then start masking off certain areas. I'm actually going to mask off the whole action here. Oops, that's a little too much. Turn down my opacity. Mask this down a little bit here. In the background. Do just a little bit in the greens here. Not a lot. I'm going to click on the add more red. I'm going to turn this down and start masking. I do not want it on her. I want some of the green to still show through. The path to have a little green. Turn this, adjust this in here. A little bit here. Magenta pop. I'm going to turn that down just a little bit more. Maybe, yeah, down. And then the warm tone I'm going to turn up and mask some of that off. This is where you get creative. This is where you just go in and you have fun with everything and do little blobs of color here and there and just put it where you really want it. So this is what we started with. And there we are with, this is just two actions, so as you can see it, you can get through it pretty quickly. I'm going to flatten that. And then I am going to go to amp the yellows. And again, start masking. I don't want her yellow, I just want little areas of more warmth. So I'm actually going to turn my opacity up because I want a lot of this masked off. I want my reds to stay pretty red. just add my greens to brighten up a little bit. Just use little touches here and there with these actions. Like I said, they're very much painterly actions, and it's all a creative process. And I just really wanted that on the background there. You can see what it did. This is before and after. It just highlights certain areas. I'm going to flatten that. And then I'm going to click on Cool the Shadows. And you're going to see how this cools down the entire image. So I'm going to go and mask off where I want all this warmth to still be. And you can go in and invert these masking layers if it would be easier for you. It would be a little less painting. I just want the cool in the darker areas, which is where I just added the yellow, but with the two of them together, they play really nicely together. So before and after, it just added just a touch more depth. I'm going to flatten that. Now I'm going to go to turn down the light, and you're going to see how drastic this is too. But you'll see a lot of the times what I use this for. I'm going to turn this down, and then I'm going to mask. I'm going to mask her. I'm going to mask the path that she's walking on. I'm going to mask up in here. I'm going to turn my opacity down and mask a little more in here. I'm going to keep those shadows nice and deep and dark. A little bit in here. A little more on her. And before and after, and see how it just adds a little more dimension to your image. I'm going to flatten this. Now at this point, I'm pretty happy with this. I might want to turn the yellows up a little bit more, so I'm actually going to click on the red-orange kicker. And remember, this saturates the entire image, so it's really going to turn up the color overall. So I am going to turn that down and then mask. I don't want her quite so colorful. Her shirt's really pretty bright and colorful on its own. Turn this down a little. Click on the warm reds and you can see how crazy that is. But I will turn it down and then turn my opacity up. I want my reds to stay red, but I would like the gold tones to be a little more prominent. A little bit goes a long ways. Before, after, it just highlighted. Add a little more yellow. You can turn this up if you want, so it really pops them. Okay, like that. A little less in here. Before, after. So I'm going to flatten this, and I think I'm basically done with this. So now I'm going to go to my finishers, and it'll be Make It Rich, which is my favorite. And you can see what that does. It just really adds more depth and dimension. I'm going to mask some of this off of her. Turn this down just a touch. before, after. And I'm good with that, so I'm going to flatten it. Okay, now I'm going to go to end of the day. This is already pretty warm, so I'm gonna want to add a little more cool to it. I like a little bit of coolness in my image. This is before, after. I'm going to turn that cool vignette up. And then I'm going to mask it off up here in these corners because I don't want it up in there. I want that light to still be shining through and not so dark. Resize my brush. Mask this off of her. Turn down my opacity. Masking off the path here. So it really looks like the path is highlighted and inviting. It's the matte layer, which I actually always mask off a little bit off of my subject because I want them to have a little more contrast. So before and after. There's a nice finishing, satiny, soft feel to it. And flatten it. So we started with this. This is our before and after. A lot of fun. If you have any questions or concerns or any kind of thing you want to talk to me about, just contact me on my Facebook page or email me at kmlcreatives@gmail.com and I will answer back as soon as I can. Really just have fun with this. Don't be afraid of the actions. They're designed for you to just add just your amount of touch to it. So thanks for watching. I hope this helps and have a great day. Thank you.